What my appointment celebrates is the contribution of the great women poets we have in this country, who I think over the past 40 years have really changed the landscape of poetry in Britain. I've only been able to do one thing today, which is to get the stipend, which is just under £6,000 given to the Poetry Society to establish a new prize for poetry. And then it is a very long appointment, so I have 10 years to think what I might do with the little bit of kind of light that this is able to shed. But today is just about saying, yes, it's me, and arg.
Andrew Motion has been very open about the difficulties of the role, and I think someone once called it a double-edged chalice. There are certain intrusions into one's private life and many demands made on a poet laureate. Are you prepared for the difficulties of the role?
Well, I think you probably have to go through it to know what it's like, as Andrew has done. Just a couple of things. When I was briefed, if you like, about the appointment by the government and the palace in particular made it very clear that there is no requirement or expectation to write royal poems. That isn't part of the role at all, and that's a kind of myth that's grown up. On the other hand, if one did, then that would be lovely and they'd be very welcomed. I would find it difficult to write any poem that wasn't a genuine event in language, that wasn't coming from memory or imagination or the impact of a personal or public event upon me. I have to wait for poems to come as any poet does. So I can say now that I wouldn't produce or publish anything that didn't seem to me to be authentically true to myself as a poet. And I'm very reassured by the palace that I'm not expected to.
You've talked about poetry as being the music of being human. Can you talk about that a little bit? What do you mean by that?
I think lyric poetry originally, as practiced by Sappho, was sung to the lyre. That's how we have the word lyric. Sappho was probably the first poet who sang of the personal rather than of the gods, of the histories. And I think that music, that personal music that Sappho and those after her sang and then wrote, is still very deep in our English poetry. We do write as poets about common things: falling in love, being parents, being bereaved, being angry about politics, caring about our landscape, writing about where we come from, travelling, and all these are human activities, and that's what I mean.
And so poetry can and should be part of the texture of the everyday?
I think it is. I was saying earlier that when we fall in love, when we get married, when we have funerals, it's to music and to poetry, to text that we turn when things really matter to us. Poetry's all around us. It's in songs, it's in speech, it's on the page. It can accidentally happen in conversation, and I hope to continue to demonstrate that as a vocational poet, and perhaps to indicate where poetry can be found in the everyday.
And finally, the significance of your getting this position now, 341 years after the post was established, as a woman and an openly gay woman, what's the significance of that?
That's a kind of funny question. It makes it sound as if I've been hanging around for 340 years. Yeah. Well, as I said, it's a significant day for women poets. I hope that after me there's another female laureate, and I hope that I think we have now as a country grown up about sexuality, and that anyone who feels shy about being gay or awkward will be pleased that a happily, openly gay writer is taking on this role.